Hey y'all, welcome back to L&L Honeycomb Homestead. Today I'm going to be showing you how I make my spicy pickles. Instead of using Miss Bertha, as y'all know if you've seen the review, I am going to be using that steam cleaner, okay? And y'all going to see how this actually works. Now, I showed you in the previous video how it's going to be and all that. Now we're actually getting ready to see with the real items inside of it. So I decided I was going to use pickled, spicy pickles, okay? And bread and butter pickles, okay? So the first things first, I'm going to do spicy pickles, as you know. And then I'm going to work my way in doing bread and butter pickles. And that'll be a whole nother video because we don't want it to be too long, right? Right? So I want to make it good and short so that way y'all can see how this is going. So if you're interested in wanting to know how I use this steam canner right here, stay tuned. As you know, if you don't know by now, I like to have different ways in doing stuff. I don't never stay with something the same that everybody has done traditionally, okay? What I mean by that, okay, say for instance, you got cucumbers, right? And you wanted to do your pickles, right? Okay, you get them in slices, right? You get them for hamburger slices, right? Okay, and then you get them in spears, right? And then you have them in those little bitty ones, right? Sometimes you can't find them, but they got them in those little bitty cucumbers. You know what I'm talking about, right? But what about the bite size? Nobody, nobody has had bite size. You know what I'm saying? You might want to go in there and you're fixing up a dish, a tray, or something like that, and you don't want those particular things, the spears. You don't want it all diced up. You don't want the pickle slices. You might want it in just little bite sizes. Okay, so I'm going to show you some of the ways that I do my pickles. Okay, so that way you can see what I'm talking about. Okay. Okay. An example. Okay, you wanted it. Here's some bite sizes. Uh, like so. See? And as I'm cutting up these cucumbers, I got bite sizes too. And I want to put onions with this, with that spicy mix. You can have fun with doing your pickles, bread and butter pickles, the same way. You can do it the same way. You could put you some peppers in there. Just kick it up another notch, right? You can put some onions in here. You can put anything you want in your pickles, okay? It don't have to just be pickles. It's boring. That's boring. So you got that. Slices. I want mine to be like that. Aren't they pretty, y'all? Look at the yellow lemon cucumbers. It's that another variety, okay? But anyway, you saw the size. With that, those are like sandwich slices. You know what I'm saying? And it's so pretty. It makes the jar look pretty. But guess what? It don't have to be just plain pickled or whatever. Change it up. Put some stuff in there. Huh? Some hot peppers, mild peppers, whatever. With the bread and butter. It don't have to just be bread and butter. It don't have to just be sweet. Put something else in there to throw that sweetness in. You know what I'm saying? Get all those other colors in there and all those other flavors. Don't be boring. Don't. You got your little bitty ones like this. Y'all seen these at McDonald's? All that. Well, I did this size, and then I did the next size from these large ones. And they're in here as well. See? It don't have to just be one. Mix it up. And like I said, the flavors. Change them flavors up. Each one of these, change it up. Just change it. Like everybody does. See how the spears are? You see how they packed up in here? Just like so. All uniformed. They all packed up in here. Yes, I left some seeds in mine. Some people got theirs out. But I have some seeds in mine. And not only that, I've been saving them. Yeah, for next year. You better save them seeds if you want cucumbers. And there's the spear. now you got these. These ain't that big, but you got those too. And these will go right on in here. You got a bunch of them. You're gonna put them in there, okay? Just like that. Just put them in here. Ain't no set way. Just put them in here. So I got different ways in me doing my pickles. How I cut them, how I dice them, how I slice them, whatever. And if you really want to get fancy, because I will be getting fancy with it, okay? If you got one of those graters that's got all those different cute little designs and stuff in it, use that too. Make your food pretty. I know I'm getting ready to do that too. So, let's just that, okay? So this steam canner can hold up to 8 pints. And what makes it fun is with the quarts, you can have 7. So with 7 quarts, 8 pints, right? I could do my 8 pints. I could do half and half. And then I can do 7 of the quarts with these cucumbers. Any way I want to within these cucumbers. It could be the same way I cut them, or it could just be whatever. And that's 7 quarts, and that's 8 pints. And you do them separately. 7 pints by themselves, 8 pints by themselves. And now I'm going to get started as far as putting what I want to put in here to make it spicy and nice and bread and butter ones as well. But I'm going to do the spice round first. So I'm going to do 8 of the spicy, and then we're going to get it in this canner. And what I'm going to be using is my little things from the garden. And this was going to be great. And I'll give you the measurements of what I'm going to be putting in here. It's really no set measurement. You just need to know how much vinegar you're going to be using and accordingly, okay? And like I had told you before, you can use the Ms. Wages, and that way you can have all your ingredients, and all you have to do then is just add your vinegar, okay? It'll tell you how much. So let's get started. So like I was telling you before we go on further ado, okay? I'm stressing it. Yes, I am. I'm stressing it. This is one of the medium spicy pickles, okay, that you can get from Ms. Wages, okay? If you don't have the funds to keep eating all these seasonings that you be wanting to get off the shelf and can't find, or whatever else, don't have a garden yet, don't have nothing to throw in, you know, to make it taste really grand or whatever, Ms. Wages got all the seasonings in here. In this seasoning pack she has in here, she's got some bell peppers, red bell peppers, she's got jalapeno peppers, she's got all these different spices called the mustard seeds, you know, stuff like that, turmeric and all that. All that's in there, mustard seeds and all that is in this pack right here. And then all you'll have to add is just your 7.5 cups of water and your 3.5 cups of distilled vinegar. That's it. So those are your measurements that you will want to have as far as your cups of water and your vinegar intake, okay? That's what you want to have to make like 7 quarts, or you can make little pints sizes like that. That's the measurements that you're going to need for your 7.5 cups of water and your 3.5 cups of vinegar. That's all you need for this packet right here. You'll put this in a pot. You'll add those liquids in there. You'll let that water get really hot to a good boil, and you're going to whisk it and make sure it's good and dissolved. And then you're going to put it into your jars like so, okay? So this is what you can use. She's got all kind of stuff. She's not just pickles. She's got chili as well. She got salsa mixes. She's got all that stuff for people who don't know how to cook or how to make that stuff up. She's got all the ingredients for you. You just doubling the recipe if you want to have more of it, okay? So I try to make it easier for you so that way you can do it that way. So if you don't have the money to go out here and buy all these bell peppers, all these different little things, if you don't have a garden, you don't want to, and don't have all the stuff to go out here in the garden, all this stuff is in here, in this packet. All of that stuff in here, okay? Okay. For a prime example of what I'm trying to say to you, you might not have a garden, okay? You might want to go to a farmer's market. Or if you just don't have a farmer's market around you, or you just don't want to go there, okay, and hit the grocery store. That's the times you can get these bell peppers and different things like that, and make your own seasonings. Since you don't have to go and get and spend like $3 or $4 on trying to find a seasoning mix, you can make your own. This is another way I was telling you. So I was doing a spice challenge here, and sometimes we still keep that spice challenge going because we want to encourage y'all to make your own seasonings as well. So I have some bell pepper seasoning, okay? You can get you some bell peppers and you can sit here and grind them up, put them in the dehydrator or put them in the oven, okay? If you don't have a dehydrator, that's what I used to do. I used the oven before I even got a dehydrator, okay? And you can take this bell pepper seasoning, y'all, make it as your own seasoning, these bell peppers. Dry them out, dehydrate them, okay? Use your food processor. You can grind them up to the liking that you want it to be. And if you want to add you some salt in there, if you want to add pepper in there, if you want to add whatever other flavors that you have up on your counter, y'all, put it in there. That's pretty much what they're doing in these packets. They're dehydrating these things and they're making their seasonings and their blends and stuff. And you can do it with your own liking, okay? To your own liking. You know what I'm saying? That's $3 that you can use from Miss Wages instead of buying that packet. That's another way you can use up to $3 in buying you some onions, some bell peppers, and different things like that, hot peppers, and dehydrating them and making your own little seasonings, okay? I did the same thing with some scotch peppers. I think that's how you call it, scotch peppers. I had some scotch peppers. Okay, all these peppers came from last year's garden, and I'm growing more. Okay, I got some more peppers in here, and I just need to, behind the scenes, that's all I've been doing, is chopping and dicing and making up my seasonings. So this is another seasoning. These are my really cheap red chili seasons. This came from the Scotch bonnets, and it also have a little bit of the chili seeds and all that. Hot. Y'all know it's hot, okay? And you can step it up a notch, okay? This is going to be going in my pickles over here. I said spicy, didn't I? Spicy and hot, all that stuff. It's going to all go in here. So that's stuff that I don't have to worry about using as far as spending that $3 or $4. You can go to the grocery store. You can go to the farmer's market. You can get all those little things and make your own little seasonings. Just like I got these peppers here. You see that? You see these peppers? I got more. And I can just grab a few of these, cut a little bit of them, and I can put them in there. Or if I don't want to cut those, I can sit here and put some of these chili flakes in there. You know what I'm saying? And that's going to do the job too. You can get you some onions. You can get you some garlic. You can do the same thing with those. Dry them out, grind them up to your liking, and that way you'll have you some onion powder and you'll have you some garlic powder. You can have you some garlic flakes. You can have you some onion flakes. You can do it any way you want to. And just think how much money you can save doing it. Now, I'm going to quit babbling, okay? I'm going to keep repeating myself. You know what I'm saying? Until it sticks. I want it to stick. Because you don't know. Y'all really can save a lot of money being self-sufficient doing this stuff right here. Right here. Okay? All right. Okay. Let's go. Do want some onion inside my containers, okay? And I want to cut me up an onion, okay? I don't want my dehydrated onions in here. I want some slices in here because I want them to be pickled as well too. You could do the same thing as far as pickling, okay? You can pickle your onions and water bath them as well too. You could do that. Just slice them up. That way you can have some. So I'm going to slice some up, and then I'm going to put some in the jars, and I'm going to let you see what that looks like when I get through dicing these up, okay? All right, y'all. So I'm getting ready to make my rind before I get started with my ingredients, okay? So that way that can be over there warming up, getting ready, and all that good stuff. So I'm going to use the measurements, but it's asking on the back of this packet right here because that's how many I'm going to be doing. And also, instead of me using the whole 3 1/3 cups of the white distilled vinegar, I want to use, and you can, okay, you can do half and half, or 1 1/3 cups of your apple cider vinegar, and then use the other 2 cups towards your distilled vinegar, okay? And that's what I'm going to do. And then add my 7.5 cups of water to that. And that's what's going to be on the stove. As y'all can see, I put some jalapenos and some onions in here. As you can see, and it's all in there, and they're good and stuffed in here, okay? Because this is going to be my spicy pickles. Now, y'all already know, I already told you, those are my Scotch bonnets right here. Now, I'm going to do maybe a couple or so, maybe 2 or 3 of those with the Scotch bonnets, because me and Lo love some hot, you hear me, some heat. And the other ones, they can be kind of mild because it's got the jalapeno pepper mild, okay? Boy, that was a tongue twister, okay. But anyway, so I'm going to do 3 of these in the Scotch bonnet seasonings that I have. And I'm going to use about 1/3 or maybe a half a scoop, a teaspoon of the seasonings. And I'm going to put it in there, and that way you can see what it looks like while I put that in there. This is going to be so fun, y'all. So this is how you can dress your own stuff up. So I'm going to use a half a teaspoon of my paper flakes of my Scotch bonnets and these 3, because like I said, me and Elle love hot food. Okay? Now, some people don't like it that hot, but we love it hot. So we're going to have some of that Scotch bonnet. Like I said, that is a half a teaspoon. A half a teaspoon. Okay? And then I'm going to put my own little herbs and spices in here that I was able to mix up from the garden as well. And that you don't know. I will tell you it has some garlic in there as well. But this is what's make it fun, because you get to flavor it the way you want to. And this is probably half a teaspoon. This is a half a teaspoon as well. And this is what makes it fun, because you get to dehydrate and do your own herbs and spices for your own flavors that you can't even get in the store because you're making your own. You're making your own. Okay? And Elle got a lot of herbs and spices going on as well too. But these are my herbs and spices. Now he might come with his little conjunction and do up some himself, because he's getting into the festive. I can't even say it, y'all. We won't even talk about that word. But anyway, he's getting into it. He's getting into it, putting his little herbs and spices and his little tricks and things in things as well too. So now we got these 3 that I'm going to have for the heat. And the other 4 are going to be mild, okay? And now we're getting ready to put our rind in here and get it into the canner. Yes. Y'all, so I got my rind together. Everything's good and hot. The only things that you were going to need for this whole thing is your magnet, because you're going to get your little lids to put on here. And you're going to need your debubbler. You're going to always have to have a debubbler, because you're going to have to debubble this stuff, because you're going to have to add some more rind to it if it drops as far as the liquid, okay? So we're getting ready to put that in here. I need to get my funnel. And that's the other thing you're going to need. You're going to need a funnel. So that way you won't be making a mess of yourself. So we're going to go ahead and start putting our rind inside our jars. Make sure your rind is good and hot. Okay. We're going to work with the next one, because we're going to come right back and we're going to debubble these, okay? This is going to be really, really good. And you're going to give it a 1/2 inch head space as well. And you're going to do this whole procedure like as if you were going to do a water bath. It's the same way, okay? It's the same way. Ain't nothing really changed. Only you're using a steamer instead of the Big Bertha, the water bather. This is going to steam and seal your jars. And you're saving a whole lot of water in doing so. Okay? And remember, this recipe calls for 7 quarts. And if you have any quarts, you can go ahead and do your quarts the same way. So I made enough brine to do some quarts as well. That I'm going to leave off the camera. I'm just going to show you these little pint sizes that I'm doing. And we're going to go back and we're going to debubble these and then fill the jars accordingly after we debubble if we're having to do so, and I know we're going to have to. Okay. Don't make your canning where you're feeling like you're scared to do it, because it's really a fun time. I was scared as well, but now that I got the swing of things and doing it myself, it's the best thing ever. The best thing ever, because I'm not having to go to the grocery store and find out what I need to find, what pickles I want and everything. You're doing it yourself. Okay, so you're going to take your debubbler and you're going to go around, and it's got a lot of bubbles coming up. But you're going to go all the way around and make sure everything is debubbled. Well, there's no air pockets. And it's going to drop. And I'm going to show you that as well. You see, you want to have to fill those up. So we're going to do all these. And I'm going to debubble all these, and then I'm going to come back putting the lids on, and we're going to get it in there. Can I? So now you're getting all the bends and everything on here, and you want to make sure everything is straight. I'm at the last, so it wouldn't be so long watching, doing that. Fingertip tight, y'all. Fingertip tight. Okay. Now we're going to put everything over here to the water bather. With this water bather, you're going to use 2.5 cups of water, 2.5 quarts of water. You're going to fill it up to the line of this tray right here. Okay? So we're getting ready to put our jars on here. This over just a little bit so you can have some room, because it's going to hold 8 pints. Okay, now that they're all in here, you're going to take your lid and you're going to set that directly down on there. You want to make sure all your jars are not touching on this or touching each other. And you can go around. This is the time you can shake everything, make sure everything is good, make sure none is touching each other, and everything, the water looks good, everything is looking good, it's pretty even. All of that is in here. Okay, now it's time to put your lid on. Now that the lid is good and snug, it's on here, it's time to turn your eye on. You're going to turn it on high. Okay. And it's going to take about 15-20 minutes for it to start boiling, okay? And I'm going to show you when it hits the gauge for my elevation. I'm going to show you what this looked like on the top, okay? And also look back on the review on when I was showing you how this canner works, the steam cannon. Okay, so now the eye is on. When you put this on, you want to make sure the fruit saver emblem is facing you. You want this pin in all the directions facing you from this knob right here. On the back side, it's got a hole where the steam comes from, and also on the sides as well. My elevation is from 0 to 3,000, and I'm going to show you what it looks like on top here so that way you can see what I'm talking about. And I will be steam canning this for 15 minutes, okay? For 15 minutes. So as you can see, I am in the blue zone. Okay, that's 0 to 3,000 elevation, altitude. Okay, that's the altitude. This pin is going to go up and it's going to go all the way around to this dark green area right here. When it reaches this dark green area right here, that's when I'm going to count my time for 15 minutes. In the meantime, I'll just be watching this blue pin, this red pin going along my zone. I'm in zone 1. My altitude is 0 to 3,000 feet. And it's going to go all the way around to that dark green over here. Okay? The time is 5:20. And I will be back when it has reached this area for us to set the timer for 15 minutes. Okay, y'all, so you already knew what time it was, which was, it is now, focus, 5:30. Okay, so within that matter of time, that dial gauge then went all the way over into the blue, and you see it working over towards my dark green. It's gonna go on over there to that dark green. And when it do, that's when you can start your time for 15 minutes or whatever time it is for your elevation. Okay? So, that's what it looks like. So like I was saying, you can do your own spices. You can do your own way in doing things. And while I'm waiting on that, Elle has something to say.
All right, people. My wife, she freezes a whole lot of peppers and stuff like that. So I made this. All right. It's very hot. You can put it on your grill, stuff like that, however you want to. Look at that.
And what is it, baby?
See them peppers?
Peppers.
See those peppers? See all that? Watch this. Yes. And it's delicious. You like hot food, this is it. This is something that I mix together. You ain't gonna be able to get it nowhere else. I just want to share that with you. Because it's hot outside, it's 101. While I'm inside, I might as well do this.
Yes. So he's making up his own concoctions, y'all. And that's the fun part about it, because you ain't going to find stuff like you like in the store, okay, with somebody else's recipe. You're going to make your own stuff. That's what makes it fun. You're making your own seasonings. You're making your own hot peppers and all that good stuff, and you're putting that up on the shelf. And that way, when you have get-togethers or it's just you and your significant other, and you fixing stuff and you want to put some in some dish, hey, that's the time, okay? This is the time. You could do this in the wintertime, you could do it in the spring, fall, and summer, okay? And have all your stuff stocked up on the shelf where you don't have to worry about any of that, okay? Just a quick note I wanted to tell y'all and him too, okay? So let's get back to this canner, all right? All right. Okay, y'all. So this is where we at. It is now hitting close to that mark. Get a better view so you can see. Okay, so it's right here at it. As you can see, let me get a little closer. You see it's right on that line. So as soon as it hit in that green, it's time for me to set my timer for 15 minutes. Okay? And I haven't hit start yet. I'm just getting it ready. You're going to see the steam coming from the sides of it. And also a note, if you see it rocking like it is just a little bit, and if it starts spitting or something like that, you can have your dial go down. You can turn it down just a little bit, as long as you keep it in that green zone that I'm in. Okay? Now I'm going to show you. Okay, because it's wanting to rock, but it ain't started. It's not time for me to start my timer yet. It's not time yet. Okay? I'm going to give it a minute and see what it do. It's got a little rock. It's okay. Now, if it's just woo 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 going real hard like that, that's when you turn your dial down just a notch. Because then you're setting it. And that way you'll know exactly where to put this bad boy at, okay? That's when you'll know. You see it? You see it rocking? I'm going to stand back a little bit. You might see it rock a little. Okay, it's pretty much leveled. I'm waiting for it to be in that green. Okay, it's in that green. Now I'm going to hit start. And then you see that it's rocking a little bit. So now I'm going to just take my gauge. I'm just going to pull it down just a notch. Just a notch. So it won't be doing that. Okay? So I'm in the green zone. I'm in the green zone. You hear it? And just turn it down just a little bit. Just a little bit. Now, I already know where to put it at because I've been using it, but I just want to show y'all this is how you adjust it. This is how you adjust it so it can stay at the right spot, okay? You're going to bring it on back up. You're going to come on down just a hair. Now that's where I have it at, okay? Right in here. I'll show you. That's where I have it at. Okay? So it stopped rocking. It's where it needs to be at. And I'll see you in 15 minutes. Okay, y'all, the time is going off. And I'm getting ready to turn the eye off. And from this point, do not touch it. It's hot. Don't try to lift the top off unless you want to lose your eyelashes, eyebrows, or face. Let it cool. Okay? Let it cool. Just like Big Bertha over here. Let her cool down and relax. Okay? Let that happen. Okay? And the other thing is, this dial is going to go all the way back over here. Okay? It's going to go all the way back. It says wait about 5 to 10 minutes for it to cool. I give it a good 15. Another 15. Because then it'll be halfway through. And then I know it's done cooled down enough for me to lift this top off. Now, don't think you can sit here and take this top off, okay? Go ahead and be hard-hit if you want to. If you want to blow your, burn your face off. And the eyelashes and all that, okay? But I'm not doing it. So, we're going to let this cool, okay? We're going to let it cool. Don't touch it. And I'm going to show you where I'm going to take that off. And as you see, is this time, it didn't take long, and I'm grateful. So I'm going to let this cool, and I'll be back. And we're going to take these up out of here and set it on the counter, and then I'll be ready to do my next run. The steam, the fruit saver steam. Y'all check her out. Y'all check her out. I'm telling you, you'll be happy you did. Look at there. Look at that. Let me back up a little bit. Back it up. Back it up. There you go. Okay? We're going to wait on her. Let her cool down. Let her cool down. Okay, y'all. So I've waited a good 10 minutes. And the gauge is on blue. And yes, it might still have some steam to it, but guess what? The Rolling Thunder has calmed itself down and is ever, okay? And like on Big Bertha, you want to pick up this lid and pull it away from you so you won't be burning your eyebrows and stuff, okay? So I'm going to take the knob, take the top off, and pull it up just like this. Now, y'all remember what I told you. Don't go setting this down somewhere and mess up this gauge, okay? You gotta have it somewhere where it's not going to mess up that gauge. Put it on the counter, set it on the side. This stove is not hot at all like it would be if it was Miss Bertha on there, okay? All the jars are intact. You're gonna need your lifter for your jars. Double check, I'm right behind. Okay? You're going to grab them, and now we're going to slowly just take it over to the counter right here beside me. I use a towel. Don't have no clue where my mitten is, but as long as you got something to protect yourself, okay? So you're going to take these jars right here and start from the middle. And we're going to just lift up like we usually do. Y'all see how simple that is? And I'm going to show you how much water was left. Okay, so we're going to get these in and put them over here on the counter. You got to remember, this has been steamed. You ain't got to submerge all that water in here. You see how much faster that is taking that stuff off of here? Who is not ready to have something like this instead of that big water jug? Okay? Who wants that? When this can be just as fast and simple. Just like that. Just like that, y'all. I am so pleased. So pleased. Let me turn y'all around so y'all can see the outcome of this, okay? And then you just take your lid and put it right back on top of here and get ready to do it again. Get you on up and personal and close with it. This is what it looks like. This is a good view. And you're going to wait 24 hours before you take your band off. And after you check and see if everything has sealed, then guess what? You put your date on that bad boy, put your label on it to know what it is, and stick it on the shelf. Just that simple. Just that simple. Okay, y'all. Give this video a thumbs up. Leave a comment down below. Hey, and I hope you like this video, because I really enjoy doing this video with y'all. And the other thing to know that it's got a good seal, you're going to hear it pop over here. And it's been popping. It has. So I counted 3 pops, and there's a total of 8. I hope it keep on popping over here. Until then, y'all have a wonderful, I mean a wonderful, blessed day. Bye-bye.